currently posted as an SDM in Delhi, somewhere in the north of Delhi. I'll just have one question. How many of you actually know what an IS officer does? Oh, that's a lot. Like my audiences usually have no idea. And when I ask them, do you want to be one? Like 90% of the hands go up. Just for those uninitiated souls, I'll just give you a brief. What I do currently is basically implementation. So I am responsible for implementing most of the government acts. And as a magistrate, we also deal with law and order issues, right? So what you basically do is every single day of your life, you help out 300 to 400 people. If you do your job well, or if you just do your job. If you do extra, then you can take your numbers up to thousands. Coming to how did I start with this? When I was a kid, I used to live in a place called Meerut, which is famous for communal riots. Like all your battles somehow start from Meerut, and communal riots is one thing that used to happen quite a bit when I was a kid. So I have had 2 years of my life when we did not go to school for 6 months. So I went to school for like 5 months, and we had final exams, and that's it. And at that point, in a small town, the district magistrate becomes extremely important in such times. So we used to have this, message out that today the DM has ordered that between 5 o'clock and 6 o'clock, everybody can go out and buy their groceries, and the shops will open. And then after that, you come back home, right? So, used to feel like, wow, there's so much that the DM does. And then, you would have this that DM has declared a holiday. And trust me, as a kid, you notice that. As a kid, you notice when someone has declared a holiday for you. So, we used to pray for rainy days and stuff. So also that, you heard about that they've built a new road and they've done this and they've done that. So it seemed like a really great job because, you heard that name for everything. And then in my civics textbooks, I figured out that this is what the job of a district magistrate or a officer is, and that seemed amazing to me. And my primary objective, even when I was 6, 7 years old, was to do something wherein I worked with people. So I really, really, really wanted to be a doctor. Or if that didn't happen, then I thought I'll be an IS or an IFS officer. Doctor didn't happen because my dad was pretty sure I looked like a patient, so there is nobody coming to me for treatment. And I kind of agree with him now. For many years I thought, oh my God, I'm so good. Why won't people come to me? But now I see it, yeah, nobody's coming to me for treatment. So that didn't happen. I moved to Delhi when I was a kid. So in Delhi, you really don't, see these things. In Delhi, it's a very, very urban sort of life. So you don't really see government officials and everything. So I did the usual thing, went into engineering, completely hated it, and I was a terrible engineer, absolutely atrocious. So then I basically did 4 years of pre-MBA during engineering, did fests like this, events like this. Like you guys are volunteers here, I would be one. I've done lots of these things. Then I went into MBA, thought I might as well get a degree for all this, right? Like that's what sells. So I got a degree. Then I got a job in Cadbury in the corporate sector as a strategy manager, and it was excellent. My job was excellent. Cadbury had a room called the chocolate room, okay, and it is precisely what you think it is. It is a room which is the size of the stage, a little bigger than this, which had just chocolates for the employees. So go eat as much as you want at any time of the day. And a very nice company, very sweet company. You guys have heard of Antilla? Yeah? It's Mr. Mukesh Ambani's house in Bombay. I used to live right opposite that. Yeah, so free chocolates for life, and you live there. That was my situation in the company. It was an excellent job, excellent company. But I was working 20-hour days, and this nagging feeling that I'd always had since childhood, that I wanted to work with the people, that I wanted to make do something, where it made an impact, that stayed with me. So I loved my company, I loved my job. The company appreciated me a lot. I was actually one of the fastest growing employees. But I had this nagging feeling that if I'm working 20-hour days, I need my day to have made a difference to someone's life. I need my day to have changed something for someone, to have made an impact on someone that after I go, there is something that is left behind. And that's when I decided to quit and sit for civil services because medicine was not happening anyways. So I sat for civil services. I sat in the year 2010. I quit my job because I knew that I don't have time to study along with job. 20-hour days, no way. And I'm not someone I would have felt like I was cheating my company if I was, studying alongside because I wouldn't have given my 100%. So I thought it's better to quit. And I quit and sat for the exams. And I cleared IRS my first attempt, and the story goes on. So this is I cleared IRS. Now I was very sure that I wanted to do IFS or IAS, so I thought I'll give the exam again. But what happened is I got my name in the rank list, but I did not get my name in the service allocation list. So there are two lists. One is when you get a rank, and the second list is what service are you getting basis that rank. So I got a rank, but I did not get a service. And people above me, below me, everybody got a service. I did not. So I thought, anyways, my rank isn't good enough for IS, IFS, so let me just sit again. While I was preparing again, I started getting phone calls from other candidates who had also not been allotted service. They had also cleared, and they had also not been allotted service. And they kind of told me certain things, and that's when I started digging. And this is when I find out that while I fulfill the criteria, in government, by the way, I'm not allowed to sit as a general category candidate because I don't fulfill the medical criteria, hence I will never get selected as a general category candidate. So if I apply and if I had my, whatever rank I get, I will never get a job. No job. Okay, so then I figure out that in PH category, physically disabled category, there are two things that happen. One is what is your disability? Second is what kind of things can you physically do? Okay, so that includes can you walk, can you talk, can you bend, can you stand, can you pull, push, read, write, talk. Okay, so those kind of things. Now for the physical things that I needed to do, I fit in every single job. I fit in all the jobs, but everybody forgot that someone like me could exist, so they didn't include my disability in any of their accepted disabilities. So basis that, I cannot get a single job. So while they're saying, okay, you are a candidate with disability, you are also a candidate who can do the job, but because we kind of forgot about you, we won't take you. It's literally as simple as that, okay? Just because we forgot about you, we won't take you. We didn't imagine that you could exist. So that happened. And that's when I decided that, honestly, I was a little lazy about it, but because I got all these phone calls from all these other candidates who had also been facing this, and I was very clear, I have come into the system to make a difference. So I thought, let me start with this. So I filed a case in CAT, and while the case was going on, I gave my second attempt. Again, I got similar rank with the same service allocation. Okay. Thought, let me just, clear this. Because, 2 attempts, you've got the same service. Oh, by the way, I am, as per government current criteria, allowed only one service, which is the one I'm in right now. I'm only allowed to be an IS officer. I cannot even be a clerk or a sweeper or a driver or a mali. Nothing, just an IS officer. And there is every year one single seat in my category. And, in general category, if in the rank list, if I get a rank 5 and there is someone at rank 2 or rank 3 or rank 4, I will not get the job, even though by general category I should. So it's as crazy as that. So I gave the attempt for 2 attempts. I thought, okay, let me just take a break. I decided, because I figured that unless I have a guarantee of getting into IS, there's nothing. And giving an attempt and every time clearing, any other service will not make a difference. So I thought, let me just fight the lawsuit first, change the policy, and then give the attempt so that at least I'll get something else. And so while I was fighting the lawsuit, I decided to learn Spanish. I traveled. I even taught Spanish for some time. I basically had a gala time. Then I got a little bored with having too much gala time. Yeah, that's what Indian education system does to you. You feel guilty for not slogging. So I went back to books and decided to give civil services exam third time. Third time again, I, by the way, cleared the same service, this thing. And that almost never happens. You do not keep getting the same service every single time. But that was happening to me. That's when I figured out life is telling you this is what you're meant to do. So shut up and stick with it. By then, the judgment of my first time came, and the court said that yes, you should get the job. Now, I'm waiting for them to call me and tell me that come join. And 1 month passes, 2 months passes, 3 months pass. Then I call them up. I'm like, what happened? Why haven't you called me? They said, oh, the judgment came. We forgot. Like, we didn't know. Okay. So then I send them all the papers and I tell them that this is what you're supposed to do, this, that. Then again, I hear nothing. Okay, nothing. I keep waiting. Then a friend of mine tells me, listen, you're doing nothing with your life. You don't know if they're going to go appeal in a higher court. So you might as well give the exam again. He makes me fill the form. I swear I did not want to fill the form. I was so done with this. By the way, this is one advice for everybody. If you have an enemy and you want to destroy your enemy, okay, you want to stealthily destroy your enemy, you tell them that you are very, very smart. You should give civil services exam. I'm not joking. I'm not joking. It's the best way to destroy someone's life. It's the best way. Okay, imagine this. You sit inside a locked room in your 20s. Okay? In your 20s, when you're supposed to make your career, 20s is where you basically build the base for the rest of your life. 20s, if you failed in your 20s, if you've made sort of vague plans and if you've not really worked hard in your 20s, you will work triple the rest of your life to even think of reaching that level. So 20s, you put someone inside a room, lock them up, make them feel guilty for every day for breathing, you're done. And imagine they come out of that room at 30, having failed at something for that many years. They are destroyed. Okay? They're destroyed, like emotionally, mentally, it's a broken human being. Okay, so that's like the best way to destroy lives. You can try this. Okay, so this is what happens. So till the day of the prelims, I was waiting that, I'm going to get a call to go join, then I don't have to give the exam. Didn't happen, went and joined the exam. Again, kept waiting, till the mains. Then finally figured out that, okay, nothing is happening. Might as well give the mains. I still had hope that they'll come, tell me, come join. Because, it's the biggest torture that you'd ever go through, giving civil services exam. And, but 2 weeks before the exam, I get a letter saying, join the day after the exams end. So then I run out of excuses. I went and gave the exam. The same day I come back home, I sell off every single thing, delete every file in my computer, because that's how much you hate it. That's how much you hate it. Okay, I go join the next day, and very happily I was doing my IRS training. I used to sit on the front seat for the first time in my life, voluntarily. Yeah, I've been forced to sit on front seat by teachers, but that was the first time I was doing it voluntarily. I sat on the front seat. I was completely doing that, but this time I got into IAS, and this is where I am right now. And just to give you a glimpse, I do think I made the right choice, because my current job is one of the best jobs you can actually have. It is the most interesting of jobs, and if you have the right perspective, the most satisfying job anybody will ever have. To give you an example, in my first 4 months, I managed to save around 175 children from child labor. I cleared around 120 cases, court cases, which had been pending. Some of them had been pending for more than 20 years. I have recently closed a revenue-based consolidation process, which had again been pending for 20 years, and I will close another one, another 4 months, which has been pending for 30 years. And like I said in the beginning, every single day that I'm in office, that helps at least 300 to 400 people. We get to work on women empowerment. We work on, you think of an issue. So one day, what happened was that I was, in fact, if you guys know, there was flooding in Yamuna in Delhi. But we managed to prevent every single casualty because we did a very strict monitoring and we did a very strict control over the situation. So we didn't have a single casualty. While I was doing that, I got a call which said that 26 girls have been vomiting blood in a school. So I rushed there. There were around 15 to 20 factories that had opened their exhaust fans into the classrooms. into the premises of that school, and that had been happening for 4 years. More than 4 years, that school had been running in that situation with those people there, and that exhaust, those girls, those little kids breathing in that exhaust fumes, those bad, polluting fumes. There were 3,500 girls and approximately 400 teachers in that school. We went within 1 hour, we sealed every single factory, and now we've ensured that all of them have moved out of that place. There will never be a similar thing happening there again. So, um, you know, if you do your job well, in a single day, you make that big an impact. You make that many lives a little better. And that's why I say this is one of the best jobs you will ever have if you have the right perspective, and it's the most interesting job you will ever have. And so, thank you so much for listening to me.